Hey guys, and welcome back to our channel. If you are new, welcome. My name is Lauren, and in today's video I'm going to be doing a Q&A. It is officially Vlogmas, so I am so excited. I love doing this every single day. It's just so exciting and so new, so be ready. Make sure you're subscribing so that way you can watch every single day up until Christmas Eve, 12 Days of Christmas with Lauren. So in today's video, like I had said, we are doing a Q&A. And I had asked on Instagram what questions you want to know about me that I can answer in this video. So I got a bunch of responses, and I'm just going to pick out just a couple. Well, I already did pick out a couple of my favorite questions that were asked. So I'm holding like a pen. I wrote them all down so that way it was easier than just looking at my phone because I get distracted. So so like I had said, I wrote down a couple of questions that I thought were really good that you had asked me. So let's just get right into it. Number 1, do you weigh yourself regularly? I do not actually. I used to weigh myself like a crazy person all the time, especially when I tried losing weight the first time a couple of years ago when I was first like trying to learn my fitness patterns that worked best for me, and I learned that weighing myself was probably the worst thing, but that was just for me. I am personally a weightlifter. Like, I do a lot of weighted exercises. I don't do much cardio. I do it in my weighted exercises, but not really running or whatever. And I learned slowly that muscle weighs more than fat, so as I was losing weight I could see myself getting thinner and leaner, but it looked on the scale as if I was getting bigger, and it was only because the muscle was replacing the fat, and it was just a mess. It was very discouraging, so I now never really go on the scale. I think I went on twice this entire year just to see where I was at, because it is good to know what you are in a state of mind. But for me, I just don't like weighing myself, so I don't do that. I just look in the mirror. If I like the way I look, then I try to maintain my body. If not, then I try to change it in the ways that I want. So that's how I go about that. So I do not weigh myself very regularly at all. Number 2, do you have any plastic surgery? So I wouldn't consider this a plastic surgery, but I have gotten my lips done. I guess it is because I'm fixing something, but I have got my lips done a couple of times, only when it kind of fades out, because if you don't know this, getting your lips done isn't a permanent thing. I mean, maybe it can be, but I don't have a permanent lip filler, so you have to get them filled like once a year in my case. For some people, what they inject in your lips is something that you already create, and your metabolism just eats at it, so it kind of fades and goes out a little bit throughout the year. So if you have a really fast metabolism, your lips will probably only last you like 6 months, where mine lasts a whole year. So that's the only plastic surgery that I have currently. But I have a lot of questions asking, like, do you have fake boobs or a fake butt, or have you gotten any altering body surgeries? And I have not, so it's just my lips, and that is all. Number 3, were you teased often growing up? Yes. But I feel like what kid wasn't? I mean, I feel like a lot of people are growing up. I mean, I feel like that's just normal. Maybe it's not, but for me, yeah, I was not the cutest, not the funny. Well, I think I was funny, but sometimes I was a bit of an airhead, I'll admit it, but it's not that big of a deal. I mean, I feel like everybody was a child, so growing up was not easy, but you know, you make it through it. You push through. Biggest insecurities. Now, if I told you, you would know my insecurities. No, I'm just kidding. Biggest insecurities would probably be like maybe my under eye bags. I get bags under my eyes. I've always had them. The little pouch in your stomach, like that, I feel like for me is just like, ugh, like I just try never to have it, and when I see it coming back, I'm like, no. So that's like one thing about me that I do not like. I don't like how I get acne so often. That's definitely an insecurity about myself. And I have a couple others, but that's the only ones I'm going to tell you guys, because if I told you all my insecurities, you know a little too much about me. Who is your best friend? Now, the person that asked me wants me to say her. I have different best friends for different things. So like people who have always been there for me is obviously my family, so like my sister and my cousin Rowan, but outside of family would definitely be Kylie for a girl, my friend Kylie, and Yuri for sure, obviously, because I'm married to him. He's my best friend. So Yuri is my best friend. I would say Megan is obviously my sister, my cousin Rowan, and Kylie. I have like a bunch of close friends, but those are like my girls that I go to for anything and everything, and Yuri. But anytime I need them, they're always there for me, and I feel like that's what a best friend is. So I would say those 4 people are definitely, you know, my besties. Number 6, how did you decide to start your business and how? So back in May of 2017 is when I launched my business, Calica Swimwear. So I'll have that linked below if you guys are interested. But I started my business in May of 2017. We started it because Victoria's Secret just stopped selling swimwear that year, or they announced that they were not coming back that next year, like in May. So I was talking to Yuri and I was like, this would be an amazing opportunity just to start a swimwear line, because Victoria's Secret isn't selling anymore. Where else is everyone gonna buy a bathing suit? So it's funny because a lot of people in my area ended up buying from me, and outside of course, but because they knew about it. So everyone was talking like, oh, Lauren started a business, like here you go, like I know this girl, or this girl is friends with this girl, whatever. They ended up finding out that I have a business, and it ended up being really successful. So I'm so thankful for that. But I started it only because of that reason. I also had a little bit, I wouldn't say I have a huge following on Instagram, but I have a little bit of a following, and that definitely helped with promoting my own stuff. And I don't know, I've always wanted to start a business, so I was just really motivated, and I was just really excited. I just really wanted to start a business, so that's what really pushed me to do it. I was just like, you know what, I think we can kill this. Like, I think this is a great market right now. So timing was definitely a huge factor in it, and it was just something I've always wanted to do. I've always wanted to own a business, and that's not going to be my first and only business. So we have another one starting up, so I'm very excited about it. I just want to, my main goal in life is to own like 20 different businesses, like CEO, own it, girl boss, you know what I mean? So that's definitely a huge goal of mine. So that's why I started it. How I started it, man, the process, oh my gosh, just so insane. Between designing, staying up until like 4 a.m, like talking to people from Bali, Indonesia, just to talk to manufacturers, like just so many things go into it that people don't really talk about when you do start a business. And between Yuri and I, we didn't really have much guidance other than listening to people in podcasts or books or Google, you know, just little things like that. We didn't really have many people telling us like, oh, you have to do this or you can do that. It wasn't really much guidance throughout the process, besides each other and just mooching off each other's ideas and just saying like, this looks good and that doesn't, and we need to figure out this for finances or whatever. So it's just a lot that goes in the back end of a business that a lot of people do not discuss, but it's definitely worth it. I would never give it up for the world. I'm obsessed with it. It's so much fun, and I'm just really pleased with how everything is turning out within the business. So it's definitely huge. It's major. I love it. It's great. Number 7, how did I know Yuri was the one? So, well, it was how did you know, whatever. I wrote it down weird, but how did I know that Yuri was the one? So I met him almost 6 years ago now. I was catering at White's of Westport, and that was like a banquet hall back at home in Massachusetts, and they had a sports banquet, and Yuri was a hockey player, and I ended up switching with my friend. That's what it was. I switched with my friend because she originally had to take care of their table because we were in sections, and I was like, you have to switch with me. That guy at the table is so cute, please switch with me. And she's like, fine, you owe me. So she ended up giving me the section. I made a complete fool out of myself. So one thing that I did was I overfilled his coffee while talking to him, because he was like, oh, you go to Dartmouth? And at the time I was in Dartmouth High School, and I was like, yeah, I go to Dartmouth. I'm not saying Dartmouth High, but I said, yeah, I go to Dartmouth, and he was at UMass Dartmouth. So I'm like, yeah, whatever. And he was like, oh, okay, cool. What grade are you in? I'm like, oh, I'm a senior. So he's like thinking, oh, an older girl, because I guess I looked older. I don't know. But he's like, oh, okay, an older girl, because at the time he was a sophomore. And then another thing was I piled up the plates. So they had like these huge, like what are they called, trays. They had the huge trays that you have to carry on your shoulder, and I was always the worst at carrying those things. Like, I'm so small, and carrying those big things were not easy. So I put up a bunch of like little, they had dessert plates, and they were like really small and thin, and if you always stack them too high, they're going to fall. So I, of course, stacked them too high, and I put it up on my shoulder, and the second I took my first step, it was like all of them were like a domino effect. It was like choo, 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 all of them just sliding off. So humiliating. So I put that I put it on the tray, and it fell all over, like right next to his table, like right near his feet, and they were all like, oh, are you okay? And I just didn't want the embarrassment, so I just continued walking, and all the plates just kept falling behind me like a trail. And I was like, if I stop now, I'll look stupid, so don't stop. So I just kept going, and then my manager was like super Portuguese in his Portuguese accent, just starts yelling at me, Lauren, what are you doing? Whatever, I'm terrible at accents, whatever. Lauren, do you see what you're doing? And I was like, no, like, what are you talking about? And he was like, oh, don't worry, I'll have blah blah, I'm not gonna say the name, pick it up, don't worry about it. And the guy looked at me, he was like, oh, this girl, like, thanks a lot, Lauren. I was like, thank you, sorry. So yeah, that was that. It was so humiliating. But then he ended up leaving without saying goodbye or giving me his number. So I was like, girl's gotta do what a girl's gotta do. So I left that night. My mom, I didn't even have a car at the time. My mom picked me up from work, and the first thing I said to her was like, Mom, I met the guy I'm gonna marry. And she was like, Lauren, you're crazy. And I was like, no, seriously, like, I really did, I swear, like, I know it. So I ended up finding it because they said his name when he got an award. He like walked up and got an award, and he said his name, but his name's Yuri Sakayev. So that was not an easy name to like remember, because I'd never heard of that name. I was like, what? So I went into, they had like these little paper files with all the names of the people getting awards. So I looked for like the weirdest name, and it was like, it like sounded familiar, like the name. So I was like, that must be him. So I looked him up on Twitter first, found him on Twitter, found him on Instagram, found him on Facebook, added him on everything. Then I liked all of his pictures and all of his tweets, and I was like, he's eventually gonna message me. He has to, right? He'll recognize who it is through the profile pic. So I changed my profile picture to make sure it looked cute. And then then he ended up messaging me, and it was like, if you're trying to be direct, just give me your number. And I was like, oh, that's sassy, but okay. And I gave him my number. Next day, hung out, and then it's been this ever since. So yeah, that's my love story with Yuri. I knew he was the one just because of how he treated me. Maybe not at first, but definitely going into like our relationship, like we wrote a lot of letters because he went away. He was sent out to basic training for a long time, and for quite a few months, and the only way of communicating was through letters. And he and I wrote like a couple times a week, as much as we could, because it was through the mail system, and literally every single day we would talk to each other. And when he came back, it was just like we clicked, and I just knew he was one, just because of the way he treated me. Girls don't ever settle. So yeah, that's definitely our story. So yeah. 8 booty growing tips. Number 1, do not be afraid to eat. That is my number 1 tip for growing your butt. Do not be afraid to eat. Some girls are like, I can't eat carbs, I can't eat this, I can't whatever. My advice is do everything in portion, you know? So if you're doing really good that week, don't be afraid to have some chips, you know what I mean? Like if you're eating really well, obviously you don't want to throw your diet way off and just go on like a spree of eating a bunch of crap, but eat in moderation, you know? So it's not that hard, guys. I mean, people make it seem like it's way harder than it is, but I feel like once you eat so healthy for so long and then you eat it like junk food, you feel so sick because your body doesn't want it, you know? You feel so much better when you eat healthy. So if you just stick to eating healthy, working out, don't be afraid to do those squats, don't be afraid to lift some weights in the gym. Like honestly, I feel like a lot of girls are very intimidated by the gym, lifting weights and stuff, because they see guys doing all this crazy workouts and they're like, oh, I don't want to get over there because I don't want people to think I don't know what I'm doing. I know a lot of people like that. Don't be, just do you, grind, like go to the gym, lift some weights. Don't be afraid, because that's the only way you can build a booty, is by using weights. Also, best thing ever is like the resistant bands. The resistant bands are amazing. I love them. They work so well, and because of the resistance in the bands, working them with your legs, doing like squats with them, or duck squats, or I'm trying to think, like hip raises when you're laying down, and then opening your legs. I can do like a whole video on like a booty exercise, booty growing exercise. But I definitely recommend, if you're a girl and you're afraid of weights, getting some resistant bands. The ones that wrap all the way around. There's a 3-pack. I can link them below. I use them all the time. I love those. I feel like they're amazing for toning your legs, and if your legs look toned, your butt looks big. So that's definitely a recommendation that I have. I also do a lot of rowing. If I do cardio, it's rowing or stairs, and I feel like because of the resistance or me walking upstairs, it actually helps build in your booty. So those are my tips. Number 9, weird things you did growing up. Oh man, I did a lot of weird shit growing up. One weird thing is, oh my god, I was talking to my sister about this the other day. So I don't even remember who I used to call. I don't know why I did this, but I had this dream that I was going to be this amazing singer, and I would lip sync in my room all the time. Like my mom would catch me, she would walk in and be like, what are you doing? And I would be in the mirror, like literally putting on a full concert, like to myself. So I would do that, but then I would call these people like in my class, or people that I didn't go to class with anymore because I transferred schools so many times, but I would call them because they were my friends, you know. So I would call these people, and I wonder if they still remember. This is so embarrassing. I would call these people and I would say, hey, do you want to listen to me sing? And they'd be like, yeah, let's hear it, whatever. So I'd be like, okay. So I would put on the Hillary Duff CD in my room, in my little recorder, like whatever, the CD player. I'd hit it, and I'd be like, okay, hold on. I hit pause, and then I went to my favorite song, like Member, and then I would be like, here I go. And I would put the phone up the whole like 3 minutes of the song, whatever it is, and then once it ended, I turned it off really quickly, and I was like, so did you like the way I sang? And they were like, wow, you're amazing. And obviously they were probably like, this girl's a freaking freak. I did that all the time. I was such a weirdo. I did a lot of weird stuff. If you want to know, watch a video on all the weird stuff I did as a child, I'll make a video of that, because I'll embarrass myself, whatever, I don't care. I think it's just really funny. Like when they came back, all the weird things I used to do, I'm like, yikes. That's definitely one of the weirdest things I used to do, though. I used to do that all the time, like literally every day for like months. I would do that to like random people. I would just call them, and then sometimes I would call the same person like 2 or 3 times that week, like on my home phone at my house. Oh god, that's so embarrassing. But yeah, I did that. I was a really big weirdo. So another reason why I got made fun of, guys. Bullied. Number 10, what are you majoring in? So in what school? So I'm majoring in marketing and advertisement at UMass Dartmouth. So I'm doing that right now. I'm almost done. I will be done in May, thank God. But I will be done in May. I just finished up my finals for my last fall semester. That sounds so crazy to say. Like this is my last fall semester ever. So surreal. It went by so incredibly fast. Don't take things for granted, guys. Like enjoy your time in college. Like it was amazing. I really loved it. Last question, number 11. Do you prefer mountains or beach scenery? I moved to Florida. I prefer a beach scenery. I have a swimwear line, so I do appreciate both. Like I do like the occasional hike. I like going to mountains and seeing all the pretty views. I like driving through the Kancamagus and the mountains. Like I always grew up in New Hampshire. Like we would drive to New Hampshire a couple times a year, every single year, with my whole family. So I have like a lot of great memories in the mountains and in the nature, and I really appreciate it. But definitely beach scenery is my thing. I love going to the beach. It's like my all-time favorite thing to do is just go to the beach, even if I'm not tanning, just going there maybe in the evening and just like chilling. Like I just feel like it's so relaxing and so peaceful, and just so much fun. You can do so many things at the beach too, especially if you're at like a touristy beach. Like, I don't live too far from Clearwater, and that's a very big touristy beach, but it's a lot of fun because of all the things that they have around. Like, you can go get lunch, you can go get ice cream, you can go to like the park, whatever. They have so much to do, the shops, whatever. It's a lot of fun. I love the beach. That's my favorite scenery in the world, is the beach. So, goal in life on my bucket list is to visit almost every beach in the world. So that completes my video, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video, this Q&A, and make sure you subscribe because we are going to be doing the 12 days of Christmas. So I'm so happy. Let's get this thing started. I cannot wait, and I will see you guys tomorrow in the next video. Bye.